So, I'm really fascinated, and we talked about this briefly in the pre-interview about the concept of starting a business and how important it is to have funding in order to get things moving, or not to have that funding, not to have the investors, and still maintain the integrity of the business idea. I'm just, because a lot of, maybe part of the urban myth is that get the investment in, get the funding in, and then we can start the business. But you had a unique perspective on this, which I was curious to explore with you. So why do you think that it's not necessarily essential to have that funding in at the beginning of any business?
I think it's often it feels really good to fundraise. It's really exciting. You have people that want to meet with you all the time. You're getting to meet cool people. You're talking about big amounts of money. And I think it also feels a little bit, for entrepreneurs, I think often it feels a little bit less risky at that point. It's like, oh, I have somebody that has my back. I'm going to get a salary, all those kinds of things. And I don't think funding is by any means evil, but I do think that the idea is like, oh, I come up with an idea, I kind of work around it, and then I'm going to go fundraise. Like that's kind of the idea. And I think it's so much healthier as a business culture for like, hey, let's build a business, let's build something, and then let's go get funding. Hey, we have leverage as an entrepreneur because I'm not just coming to an investor and going like, hey, I have a great team and I have an idea. Because if you take investment, then they really have a lot of input on you. You don't have a lot of progress. And, I mean, not that investors are just going like, oh, you have an idea, I'm going to invest in you. You have to have something. But I think the culture, especially here in the U.S., is that you raise very early on. And so I think it's a much healthier culture. And I see companies here in Colorado do this quite a bit, where they get fairly far along before taking funding. And they go, hey, look, we've already got these customers in place. We've already got a lot of traction, which then gives them more leverage, puts them in a place where they actually probably already have a sustainable business, and they're just getting funding to actually help them scale. And I think that's a much better model than we're seeing quite often. And I think in some ways we're headed towards that. SoftBank has really changed their investing strategy over the last 6 months to 8 months. They've kind of taken a pounding. I think we're probably moving in that direction. But I think for me, I think it makes for a much healthier business culture.
Mm-hmm. And what happened, or what can somebody do if they have a great idea, a product, but they're trying their best to generate money or leads at the beginning, but it's difficult, but they're in that catch-22 where they need the funding or they need some investment, but they haven't got the buyers yet. I mean, how do you navigate that? Because it's one of the areas that I see myself in, where you have a great concept, but maybe other buyers feel confident when you talk about, I have other clients, but it's hard to get on the circuit. How can people take the first steps to rectifying that or doing something positive?
Every business is going to be different in that way. I think a good way, if you really desperately need funding in that way, look at a friends and family round, or look at some smaller angel investment, things like that. And yeah, but every company is going to be different. Your strategy is going to be different. A book that really helped me as I thought about fundraising and these types of, how do you do things when you're in a really hard space, it's called The Hard Thing About Hard Things by Ben Horowitz. He's an investment banker, he's a venture capitalist. And he has been through the war with his companies before being a venture capitalist, including fundraising after the dot-com boom with a technology company, and successfully raised money. So I think he gives some really helpful hints. And like I said, every company is going to be different. I think you need to figure out what's going to be right for your company. And then you go. Mm-hmm. The main thing is you just have to keep running.
Yeah, and is that part of it? What do you think are the main themes for, let's say, success? Is it continuity, determination, being steadfast, or could it be about, if it's not working, then amend it, change it? What do you think are the main themes of the journey to business success?
Two big ones that I would say are resilience, because you are going to have problems, and learning how to problem solve around those. And then, like you said, being iterative. Like, you're not going to go, I have an idea and it's your perfect idea right off the bat. So you're going to try some things and then you pivot, and you try some things and you pivot. And being able to do that quickly and with using the data that you have available, I think often makes people really successful. The other thing that I didn't know, it was interesting. One of my friends told me this. She just turned like 35 and was like, "Oh, I'm so old," and whatever. But the average CEO age in Silicon Valley is 45. It's not. We have these visions of everybody in Silicon Valley like Mark Zuckerberg, and they hit their big one at 23 or whatever. But I think that shows that there's a lot of learning that goes into being successful, and a lot of personal awareness of going, here's my strengths, here's areas I need to grow. And that's a hard, intense process.
Mm-hmm.